You open the envelope from the VA, and there it is, the official rating decision, stamped on your file. That number determines your monthly compensation, your healthcare access, and your family's financial security for decades. Most veterans assume the VA takes your medical file, runs it through an objective formula, and automatically spits out the exact right percentage for your condition. Then you look at the criteria. You read the symptoms for the 30% rating, and you read the symptoms for the 50% rating. You realize you sit right in the middle. You straddle the line. You have the migraines, the nausea, the economic impact required for 50%, but you are missing one specific technical symptom on their checklist, so you get stuck at 30. This chart compares your symptoms against the VA criteria. Your lived experience bleeds heavily into the 50% column, but raters treat that one unchecked box like a concrete wall. Without it, the 50% column grays out, bumping you down to 30. That single empty box dictates a massive financial and healthcare trade-off. It is the difference between scraping by and having true long-term stability. Accepting that lower rating over a minor technicality leaves hundreds of thousands of dollars and crucial dependent benefits on the table over the course of your life. The VA actually has a rule for this exact scenario. It is called 38 CFR 4.7. The regulation explicitly states that if your disability picture more nearly approximates the criteria for the higher rating, the higher evaluation will be assigned. By law, they are required to round up, not down. But the reality of the claims process is different. Raters are managing an overwhelming volume of files, constantly under pressure to move through the backlog. Denying the higher rating because a box is unchecked is fast. Writing a detailed justification to apply the 4.7 approximation rule takes time and administrative effort, so the default is the lower, safer percentage. The regulation only works in your favor if you force the issue. You have to provide the exact evidence required to make rounding down impossible for the rater. To force their hand, you have to understand what the VA calls your disability picture, outlined in 38 CFR 4.2. This rule requires the rater to look at your whole recorded history. It demands evidence of how your condition limits your ability to function in daily life and at work, not just a clinical diagnosis code. A stack of medical paperwork tells one story. The physical reality of struggling through daily tasks or sitting in physical therapy tells the actual story of your impairment. You cannot rely on the standard VA compensation and pension exam to tell that story. Those exams are brief, highly clinical, and focused on specific physical measurements. A 15-minute appointment does not capture how your condition forces you to call out sick 3 times a month, or how it isolates you from your family. To build a complete disability picture, you need outside inputs. That means submitting personal lay statements detailing your flare-ups, buddy letters from coworkers or spouses, and disability benefits questionnaires completed by your private doctors. Gathering this extra documentation is exhausting. It requires months of administrative legwork, tracking down doctors, and writing detailed accounts of your worst days. That investment of time is the only way to shift the rater's focus. You have to replace their view of a missing symptom with a comprehensive picture of real-world impairment. Once you have the evidence, you use 38 CFR 4.21. This regulation acknowledges that atypical cases exist and explicitly states that not all veterans will show every single finding specified for a rating grade. Look at this rubric. You need to audit your own records and map your symptoms, your medical evidence, functional impairment, and occupational impact directly against the language of that higher rating criteria. As you take off these evidence categories, you build the nearness argument. You prove that even lacking one specific symptom, the frequency and severity of your condition aligns 90% with the higher bracket. There is a risk here. Appealing your decision to argue for 4.7 opens your entire claim file to reevaluation. It is colloquially known as poking the bear. If your current medical evidence is weak or shows your condition has improved since your last exam, requesting a review could result in the VA reducing your current rating. The more nearly approximates rule is a powerful offensive tool. You just need a bulletproof medical file to back it up and protect yourself from a counter reduction. If your VA exams are coming up short, you can introduce an independent medical opinion, or IMO, from a private specialist to create a direct conflict in the evidence. This diagram shows what happens when your private IMO holds equal weight against the VA's own exam. Under 38 CFR 4.3, when a reasonable doubt arises regarding the degree of disability, the scale must tip in your favor. They have to grant the higher rating. The trade-off is cost. High-quality IMOs and Nexus letters are expensive out-of-pocket investments, and they offer zero guarantee of a successful appeal. When the VA's medical evidence is borderline, flawed, or failing to capture your full disability picture, 4.3 is your ultimate legal lever to force a favorable decision. This flowchart maps exactly whether you should fight for that higher evaluation. If you clearly straddle the symptoms between two ratings and have the functional evidence to prove your daily impairment, your path is clear. You file a higher-level review or a supplemental claim. If you have minimal recent treatment records, haven't seen a doctor in 2 years, or your symptoms are currently well managed, you stop. You maintain your current rating and spend your time building a stronger medical file first. 38 CFR 4.7 is a legal obligation for the VA, but they will never volunteer it on their own initiative. The more nearly approximates rule is the specific tool designed to overcome a missing symptom on an administrative checklist. You earned these benefits through your service. Ensuring your rating accurately reflects your impairment secures the lifetime compensation you are legally entitled to. The VA rating schedule is a guide. If your actual disability picture looks like the higher rating, use 4.7 and make them see it.